Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the fourth edition of Amazon AI Conclave, hosted in partnership with Intel. I'm Sanket Duranda, and I lead the AI/ML business development for AI Spill in India. This two-day event has highly curated and engaging sessions delivered by a stellar lineup of speakers. Day one, which is today, is the business edition, where we are joined by more than 2,000 technology and business leaders across startups and enterprises. You will get a chance to listen to thought leaders, starting with a welcome note by Puneet Chandu, President AISPL India and South Asia. We are also pleased to announce Amitabh Kansal, CEO Niti Aayog, has also graced this event by delivering an industry keynote. Swami Siva Subramaniam, Vice President AWS Machine Learning, is doing the AWS keynote for us. We're also thrilled to have some great session delivered by Etan Madina, Chief Business Officer, Intel Habana Labs, and Raju Rastogi, Vice President Machine Learning, Amazon India. You'll also get a chance to listen to some of the leading CXOs, what they have to say about AI adoption within their organizations in a panel discussion titled AI is Now Mainstream. Like last 3 years, this year too, we have Amazon AI Awards. As part of this award ceremony, we will be rewarding startups and enterprises who are doing some great exceptional work in the field of AI leveraging Amazon machine learning services. With this award ceremony, we will conclude day one. Day two, which is the technology edition, starts at 9 a.m. tomorrow. We are expected to be joined by more than 12,000 ML practitioners across the globe. Stefano Sohato, Director for Applied Science for AWS, will be delivering keynote where he talks about our vision for AI and machine learning. Following this keynote, we have a very captivating panel discussion where technology leaders talks about unlocking the power of AI. Overall, in next 2 days, we have 8 sessions, 20 plus breakout topics across 3 tracks delivered by 40 plus Amazon and industry experts. This will help you understand how to build smart, customer centric, and scalable solutions in the cloud and on the edge, leveraging the broadest and deepest Amazon machine learning services. On that note, I welcome you all once again. Hope you find all the sessions engaging and interesting. Thank you.
Also, another agency, Deloitte, found that over half of organizations will transform their organization in the next 3 years using AI technology. As you can see, there is a lot of excitement about how AI could impact the businesses meaningfully, especially when I talk to leaders around the globe. Very often, I don't ever get a question saying, like, why should I use machine learning? Culture in your organization, and what are the best tools to accomplish that as well. Now let's dig in. And when we talk to many of our customers, and especially from an AWS perspective, we are seeing a tipping point where AI ML in the enterprise is addressing use cases that are already causing measurable, meaningful results. For instance, customer experience is being transformed via capabilities such as conversational interfaces, better personalization, and biometric authentication, and so forth. Similarly, machine learning is also used to improve business operations, such as using machine learning to do better demand forecasting and supply chain automation. Now, also, more and more, machine learning is used to do better and faster decision making, with better use of automation in various aspects of things, all the way from form processing to also using machine learning in healthcare, for instance, where you can move from being a reactive provider to more proactive healthcare provider as well. Finally, AI and ML is also being used to create new innovative products that were not possible before, which is providing organizations to get competitive edge and also open up new lines of businesses. So now let's talk through some of the specific examples of how AWS customers are innovating with machine learning. Now, we have all been using food delivery more often now since the onset of the pandemic. And one such great example is Zomato and how they are being used more and more. Now, with Zomato, especially to improve its user experience, they turned to AWS for machine learning. Using Amazon SageMaker and Amazon TextRank, now Zomato is able to digitize their menu without any human input required in order to provide advanced dish searches for their users, faster menu creation for online ordering, and also more personalized recommendations for their users as well. Similarly, now let's talk about gaming. As India's leading gaming company, Games 24/7 is known for its flagship products like Rummy Circle, which offers online rummy, and My 11 Circle, which offers fantasy sports. And Games 24/7 uses machine learning to personalize the gaming user experience and also to aid in better experimentation. When you look at the gaming industry in general, the market segment moves very rapidly, with users regularly seeking for new levels of challenges. And engineers who are building these games, they rely on in-house experimentation engine to test new features and on these games before bringing them to the market. Now, they leverage Amazon SageMaker to build and deploy ML models quickly that will weed out bad ideas in their experimentation engine. This helps the engineers design new levels, characters, and features that will appeal to users and do experimentation and iteration quickly. Now, moving on from gaming to finance and mortgage. So Fannie Mae is a key player in America's mortgage market. Like all large financial services companies, it takes in tremendous amounts of data. Just in the process of assessing property values, Fannie Mae receives around 40,000 appraisal reports and over 500,000 images every day. Now, Fannie Mae uses Amazon SageMaker to develop, evaluate, and improve their models using everything from assessing the loans it backs to also analyzing property values. It also uses SageMaker to enhance the value and output of other AI-driven tools in natural language processing and text mining. Now, sports is also heavily leveraging AI and machine learning, and one such leading example is Formula One. F1 is using machine learning for fan engagement. For instance, F1 has tons of data from tracks as well as the car, and they wanted to unlock that data using machine learning to help fans better understand the race. So here we brought together their engineers, racing experts, and our own data scientists to uncover some of the most interesting insights that we could glean from this data. So today we have F1 insights such as pitch strategy battle, which provides fans and commentators with real-time insight on position of the driver, how it relates to the other competing driver, and also compare some of their strategies so that it helps fans assess how successful each driver's strategy is in real time and also predict its potential outcome. So, as you can see now, machine learning is being used across the board. And if you take a step back and look at Amazon itself as an example of a company, we have went through a multi-year machine learning journey to be the ML-driven company we are today. In fact, Amazon has been applying machine learning for more than 20 years, right from the early days when we were doing algorithmic-driven recommendation engine to where we are today. So now, if you look at the recommendation engine and personalization alone, we began when we were actually selling books and items. We started doing, instead of manually curating editorial recommendation, we started doing algorithmic recommendation. Since then, we moved on to highly personalized customer experience using machine learning. And since then, we have started applying machine learning to various other parts of Amazon.com. Consumer business as well. For instance, we use machine learning in our fulfillment centers and supply chain and demand planning. For instance, we use machine learning to forecast the demand for each and every product across various geographies so that we can actually fulfill our customers' promise of being able to deliver a huge number of products really fast. Similarly, we have also used machine learning to create new lines of businesses, such as Amazon Alexa, where we have created a whole new product category for our customers. Similarly, we have also created new lines of business like Amazon Go, which creates a whole new retail experience for our customers. We have also used machine learning to reinvent what a delivery experience for future will look like using initiatives like Amazon Prime Air. So these 20 years powered by machine learning, this was a big cultural shift for Amazon, but it's something every organization needs to go through. So that's one of the core things I want to talk about today, which is around ML culture. As you can imagine, machine learning requires a cultural shift that is driven from the top. At its core, unlike many other engineering disciplines, machine learning is an experimentation that constantly gets better over time. So organizations must also take a long-term view and embrace failures as well. And at Amazon, we took a very unique approach to incorporating a machine learning culture. For instance, 10 years ago, the leadership team asked every line of business and business leader in Amazon one question, irrespective of whether you're running a technology division like what AWS does, or if you're running fulfillment centers, finance, or so forth. We asked every one of those business leaders in their yearly planning to say, how do you plan to use machine learning in your business? Typically, when if they say we won't, it is not considered an acceptable answer. So what this did is this forced leadership at every level to kind of take a step back and bring in domain experts and technical experts to work together to address this question. Today, there is not a single business in Amazon that is not made better thanks to machine learning. Of course, this didn't happen overnight. It took a cultural and technology shift. And we have learned a ton from our experience incorporating machine learning into all facets of Amazon business. And through our work, and especially with also working with over 100,000 customers, today I'm going to share some of the 5 major lessons that we have learned in nurturing an ML culture. I put them in the bucket of like 5 major things around championing a machine learning culture, understanding your data strategy, and also figuring out how to hire your organization, and also choosing the right project, to also removing the undifferentiated heavy lifting associated with running ML projects. Now, let's Start with championing an ML culture. One of the key things about machine learning is that as a leader, it is important to set expectations that it is important. And it's going to be a process. For instance, many ML projects, they can come top down, but we have found significant change is often happens when leaders set big, brave top-down goals. Along with that, you as a leader has to be tolerant of failures. This is because machine learning requires significant amount of experimentation. So we as leaders need to take a long-term view, celebrate small successes along the way, and learn from the failures so that you and your team can do better next time. Another key lesson or mistake I often see companies doing is that they get very excited about machine learning and they hire a talented group of data scientists and put them in a central division and say, and this team, with all the right intentions, they build amazing proof of concepts and then great make demos, but they don't work closely with domain experts. So what essentially end up having is they work in a silo, build really cool demos, mostly as proof of concepts, but they rarely solve real business problems. The best way to approach this, especially to make meaningful ML transformation, is that you have to blend and bring together the domain experts and technical experts so that each one can teach other on what is the real business problem we are solving, how does this specific algorithm or technology solves it, and then align on objectives, and it also gets buy-in. And when both teams are brought together early, the shared buy-in and adoption happens so much faster. Now, let's talk about data. Now, data is often cited as the number one blocker for adopting machine learning. Especially in our own experience, more than half the time is spent in data cleansing and transformation and cleanup with respect to machine learning. That is one of the reasons why it is so critical to get your data strategy straight. Now, there are three important questions to ask yourselves when you are trying to get your data strategy right for machine learning. Number one is, what data is available today? And then here you want to make sure that things like when you overcome data hugging, where different parts of business, they say, this data is mine, I don't want to share it with another line of business. But you also want to foster a culture where all data is not accessibly easily available to everyone, and you have the right access control and governance. Then the second question is around what data can be easily made available. So here, what data will we wish we had today? And then look at your data strategy for the next 1 year, and then plant those seeds right away. Now that you have the culture set right, and then you have a data strategy in place, now let's talk about how do you choose the right project to get started with on your machine learning journey. So ideally, this is something you can get off the ground quickly and also start seeing results. But many times companies, if they don't choose the right project, this becomes like such a big blocker that they have burnt their hands, and that stops them right away. So one of the key things you want to do when it comes to choosing the right project for machine learning is that we use a simple technique where we evaluate every problem across three dimensions: data readiness, business impact, and ML applicability. Now, for instance, if you choose a problem that has high business impact, but it is not really suited for machine learning either because this problem is not yet easily solvable using machine learning algorithms, and there is not enough data, even if you put highly talented data scientist team, you will end up having frustrated data scientists along the way. On the other hand, if you choose a problem where you have great amount of data and it is ML applicability is high, but the business impact is low, essentially it's a good prototype to build experience for your data science team, but it's not going to actually build the success and the momentum you're looking for. So what you ideally want is a problem that scores well on all the three dimensions, so that you can actually work on a meaningful business problem and you have the right amount of data and ML applicability as well. So to choose the right project, I highly recommend doing a quick audit of relevant projects and rating them across these dimensions, and then start with the best one accordingly as well. Now, let's talk about also the fourth one around developing your team. So now, we many times hear from organizations that I would love to engage on machine learning. This is really critical for our business, but I don't have the necessary skills among my team to build these complex ML systems. So how do I get started? So the truth is, you can't buy your way into talent. There is not enough talented machine learning scientists and data scientists, and it can get very expensive. Instead, the number one thing you can do is you have to focus on developing your internal talent. In fact, various agencies such as things like World Economic Forum is predicting that more than 58 million new jobs are going to be created by the growth of artificial intelligence. But on the flip side, there are only 300,000 AI engineers available worldwide. So the fact of the matter is, now you should focus on developing internal talent. And this is exactly the approach we took within Amazon. At Amazon, we took an approach of not only to hire new external talent, but also develop our own existing talent by building things like Amazon's Machine Learning University, where we effectively, in my team, formulated a university curriculum that is used to train thousands and thousands of engineers and technical folks on machine learning every year within Amazon. 2 years ago, we made a lot of this content available for free to our customers through AWS training and certification platform. And we have seen well over 100,000 developers start their ML journey using these content today. So having strong training programs can also help you attract and acquire talent. In fact, we have made this machine learning university content, much of it available also through the portals like Udacity, Coursera, edX as well. And another interesting thing we did was we asked ourselves, how do you make technologies like deep learning, reinforcement learning, and generative networks fun and easy for developers to learn? So this led to the creation of our devices such as Deep Lens, Deep Racer, and also Deep Composer. For instance, Deep Racer is a fully autonomous 118 scale autonomous racing car where I, as a developer, can build a reinforcement learning model to automatically navigate this racing car and participate in a worldwide league. Using this, so many developers have started getting into machine learning and then branched out to solve real world problems. In fact, we have seen so many enterprises now doing their own Deep Racer league within their organizations to get their talent introduced to machine learning and start seeing more engagement around it. So, and the final one is around while addressing the skills gap is really important, machine learning will only truly scale when we as an industry stop doing undifferentiated heavy lifting. So this is where in AWS, our mission is to take the rich experience we have gained in the more than past 2 decades and build the right tools and services so that we can literally put machine learning in the hands of every developer, data scientist, and business. Said another way, we focus on removing the undifferentiated heavy lifting of doing machine learning so that you can really adopt more of it. So that's what the AWS machine learning stack enables, where we are innovating on behalf of customers to deliver the broadest and deepest set of machine learning capabilities for builders at all levels of expertise. At each layer of the stack, we are investing in removing the undifferentiated heavy lifting so that you can move faster. Now, let's take a quick look at each layer of the stack. To begin with, at the bottom layer, we have the frameworks and infrastructure geared towards expert practitioners. Here, they actually get the choice in frameworks all the way from TensorFlow, PyTorch, MXNet, and we optimize them for various infrastructures such as GPUs, CPUs, our own custom machine learning hardware powered by chips like Inferentia and training. Our goal here is to not restrict expert practitioners to one framework, instead provide them the choice in the frameworks, but also in the infrastructures so that they can build their models, train them fast, and also run them at a cost-effective manner as well. Now, if we only cater to expert practitioners, machine learning is not going to see the broad adoption that we wanted to see. That's where in the middle layer is where we offer Amazon SageMaker, which is the an end-to-end service that makes it super easy for developers and data scientists to build, train, and deploy machine learning models end-to-end with a fully integrated IDE called SageMaker Studio. With SageMaker, it removes the complexity of building machine learning models at every step of the way, all the way from preparing your data to annotating your data, and then transforming your data. Now to authoring your machine learning algorithms, to setting up distributed training clusters, to also then putting your models in production and then scaling them. Each and every one of these used to be a big roadblock, and now all of them are automated through SageMaker. And now we have heard from many of our customers that the process of deploying ML models have gone down from like 6 months to less than a week. And that is one of the reasons why now tens of thousands of customers use Amazon SageMaker today, not just as cool proof of concepts, but in production. And this is across virtually every industry from financial services, healthcare, media. Own custom machine learning models. Here, we provide easy to use primitives all the way from things like image analysis and document processing using tools like recognition and text rank. We provide easy to use tools to do like automated speech recognition and natural language processing and translate using our language services tools like transcribe, translate, and comprehend. And then we provide various technologies to do search using Kendra, and then fraud detection using Fraud Detector. And then we have also reimagined a new set of tools as well to do things like how do you reimagine the entire DevOps experience using Code Guru and DevOps Guru. Similarly, we have launched a whole slew of industrial machine learning services to automate and various aspects of industrial and manufacturing as well. Along with in healthcare, we have actually launched Health Lake, and comprehend medical so that we can make the process of healthcare data lake setup and analytics a lot easier using machine learning. So as you can see, we have a wide variety of AI services that are already prepackaged so that you don't even have to spend time doing some of the undifferentiated heavy lifting and doing things like contact center analytics or enterprise search or healthcare data lake setup and so forth. And highly recommend using this along with SageMaker as well. Finally, if you're as excited as I am about using machine learning and its potential, you don't have to do it alone, even if you don't have the skills within your team. We have something called Machine Learning Solutions Lab, where we bring in some of the core data scientists that have solved some of these hard problems within Amazon, and we make them available all the way so that they can partner with you to understand the business problems you are trying to solve and take it all the way from ideation to production for an end-to-end machine learning project. And we have a global footprint, so they will be able to solve it on various geos. And we have various customers all the way from Cerner, AstraZeneca, NFL, Digital Globe, all partnered with us through ML Solutions Lab to solve some of their most important problems as well. I'm very excited about the potential for machine learning and what it can do for so many of our customers. And hope you all have a great rest of the Amazon AI Conclave. Thanks again for listening.
Thank you so much for joining today, and a very happy new year. This is the first discussion we are doing at the beginning of the year, and what better topic to start with than AI. If you have to look at last year, before the end of the year, before the year was ending, Prime Minister Modi had talked about how AI is going to be defining our country's problems, and today we are here to discuss from all of you on what do you see as the potential in your businesses in our country, and how do we take AI as mainstream. And before I open to the panelists, I just wanted to talk. 2 days back, I was talking to people from the Canadian government, and they said that they are seeing that Canada leads in the AI wave. And I was just thinking, and they asked, "What are you doing in India?" And the answer which I gave is that there are many things happening in India, but one very significant thing which one can't take away from India is that we have huge data sets, and that is what determines how AI, because at the end of the day, technology, AI will work when you have a lot of samples and data, and we are the richest data country in the world. So with that in context, I want to ask all of you, how do you see the role of AI panning out, especially in our country?
Good catching up with everyone. I think clearly, as you mentioned in your preamble, Shraddha, that data is a very important, I would say, infrastructure in India to increase access to services, as well as provide a lot of excluded population which does not get normal access to services, whether it's healthcare, education, financial services, etc. Data and therefore AI can be a big tool, and I would actually say in many cases not just a tool, it's a core strategy in terms of how you bring down the costs of acquisition, how do you customize these solutions so that the cost of access becomes as low as possible. I think in our limited world of financial services, data and AI have become extremely vital as we look to go beyond the included, when I say included, people like us who have access to financial services, to the broader set of population. And their standard protocols around KYC, around Aadhaar, and eventually around small businesses. And then you start porting on data, payments data, etc. It becomes very important for us to be able to provide financial services to these vast numbers of people.
Yeah. Very rightly said, Rajiv, because again, the whole thing is that somewhere one can't take away from us is that India is also in a way, creating this whole movement when it comes to fintech, and we are able to do that, and we have to continue staying ahead. AI will have to play a key role. Nishant, if you could take the question, please.
Sure, Shraddha. Thanks a lot, and thanks a lot for having me. I really agree with Rajiv, right, on the opportunities that we have, especially on areas like healthcare, agriculture, and education, where there is a massive human resource and quality crunch. And AI can really help that bridge. Uh, help bridge that supply and demand gap, the accessibility, efficiency, and the scalability gap that is required, right, for us to ensure that the healthcare, the education, and agriculture, all these things are really, growing fast and are accessible.
And as nations routinely update their compliance legislations, demand for the most effective operational tool is urgent.
Infrastructure planning, e-commerce, customer support, and workforce productivity are other hot areas, which I feel, AI can really, really help in India. One example is like for in workforce productivity space, right? We are a sales enablement company, and a lot of our customers who have their salespeople on field, there is a lot of conversations that are going on, between the customers and the sellers, and it is very difficult to understand the quality of conversations and the quality of customer service that is provided on the field. AI can really help understand, all the data that is being collected every day, and dig out those insights that the companies need to understand to keep improving the customer experience that they're delivering with consistency.
With that, Saraveer, I come to you.
As Rajiv and Nishant have already said, I think there is a lot of scope for AI. And, the way I look at AI is that it allows us to do things, at a micro level, which were not possible just by human, calculations. What I mean is that otherwise, we all look at everything in terms of segments, right? We would say, the rich, the, next set of people, etc., etc. You have to use broad generalizations. Whereas with AI, what you can do is that you can actually, go to a very specific micro targeting kind of almost level and treat almost every individual differently. And I think in a country like ours, where we have so much diversity, where, different languages, different people sort of operate in different ways, I think a tool like artificial intelligence can, really make a huge difference.
Prateek?
I think we have an ambition, a very inspiring ambition of becoming a $5 trillion economy. And I strongly believe that AI can be that force multiplier, which will really change productivity and drive us to that ambition that much faster. And the use cases for AI, I think many of the panelists have spoken about it. I think very fundamental use cases, whether it's agriculture, improving the yield, improving the quality of output, whether it is healthcare, the quality of medical services, especially in remote areas, education, BFSI, retail. The use cases are many. And I think the key question, you talked about data being available. I think the key question is data really available across all these use cases, and in what form and shape? And can the data be put to good use to extract intelligence, to extract analytics, and to extract actionable insights?
Prateek, thanks for sharing this. In your businesses, how are you seeing, if you could, and for everyone watching, if you could tell us, like in one way that AI has actually made the difference?
I think there are many use cases for AI in our business. And many of these are just about getting started and exploring. The one area we are beginning to see some difference come by, in fact, two areas, if I may take the liberty. One is improving the customer experience. That when customers come to our assets and navigate, they must get the most intuitive, the most seamless, the most personalized experience that improves over time. That's one use case. It is customer facing. The other area we have seen substantial improvements is in the way we deliver to our customers. So the actual delivery algorithms and the way we match supply and demand, we are beginning to see some improvements there. Lots more to come, but early signs are very, very encouraging. So I would say those are the two use cases.
Yeah, very interesting. Saraveer, you will have so much of data set.
Yeah, so our whole business is based insurance, is based on data, right? It's essentially the understanding of risk and the pricing of risk is what makes up insurance. So I think in our case we have I would say two broad areas that we've been focused on. One is that we are using tools and techniques from artificial intelligence to make the customer's journey through the process of insurance easier. And what I mean by that is, let me give you a practical example. If your car, meets with an accident, in today, in variety of companies offer you the ability to take a video of that car and you're able to upload it. We have developed, the tools and techniques that automatically this video can be analyzed, and we can decide that are these damages, what are the prospective damages? Can they, if the damages are below a certain amount, then those can be, paid off directly. If the damages are such that, let's say it's your windshield has cracked or something, we can send a person to your house, and it can, the windshield can be repaired. So I think the promise is again that you are in a spot, you've had an accident, you're already feeling slightly emotional and maybe slightly overwhelmed. But here is, a tool or a technique which allows you to take a simple video of your car, and almost in 70-80% of the cases, the whole resolution can start right away. So I think this is one example of something that is possible.
Nishant?
Yeah, absolutely. And I would want to, double down on this, thing that, just spoken about, which is the customer experience, right? We are seeing that more businesses, whether B2B, B2C, they are all digitalizing the entire customer experience. You're ensuring that the customers are able to use all the product and services all by themselves, right? From any location with any devices that they would want to interact you with. And all this experience is supported by the team, like for example, your support team, your sales team, or your marketing team, which are in the background. They are just once you can say just one call away from the customers. And these team needs to be very capability ready. They need to know how to interact with the customers. They need to know what is the context that the customer is in, and that has to be done at a very large scale, right? If you look at some of the businesses which have a lot of customers. Now, Mindtickle is investing into ensuring that we use some of these latest technologies like AI to make all the people who are facing the customers capability ready. And at the same time, there are things like conversation intelligence that we are investing into, which is actually digging out insights from the conversations that are happening between the customers and your customer facing teams to understand, how your customer experience is being served, what are the areas that needs to be, that these people need to be coached on, what are the best moments that can be understood and can be replicated, like best behaviors that can be replicated across the teams. So we see an immense amount of opportunity that we have, especially in the sales readiness space or overall workforce productivity space, where AI can be applied.
True. Yeah. Rajiv?
Yeah, so I think Sarvin actually made a very important point, and I think if I look at access to finance, especially for very small businesses, I mean, in the not so recent time, you had to have an army of people who would go and visit, and the economics of that business was extremely negative. So all of us were focused on mid-size and large-size financing. I think today with data and very many alternate structured and unstructured data, we're able to provide financing even below a lakh to small businesses because we have a lot of partner data, supply chain data. So we're working at the retailer level, which is, we don't have branches everywhere, but because we have a lot of supply chain data and some of the static data on these customers, we're able to build financing options which are far cheaper to provide. And I think that can actually what we call democratize the access to finance, because you're using data from a variety of sources and solving your problem of reaching out to these customers.
How are you looking at bridging that gap of building AI capabilities? And how do you think as a country we need to solve and address this challenge?
We have a little, I would say, broader view of the expertise and capability. So one is AI as tools, understanding technology, understanding the language, and understanding what I would call the geekiness around it, which clearly to me is a function of what is taught in our schools, etc. The larger question, in my view, is the context setting. What are you trying to solve? And each of us, you've heard, has a very interesting problem set or the lens we use to evaluate how we're going to go about our business. And I think some of the $957 billion you're saying is also expanding the economic opportunity for many of our citizens and reducing the cost of service. So the tack we've taken is that AI is embedded into each aspect of our business. So if I'm doing retail in the modern urban metro, AI has a different connotation. When I'm doing very small SME financing, AI is embedded into that business. When we're doing financial inclusion, it's a very different business. We do a lot of payments business where we provide a platform of services. It's a very different aspect altogether. So I think context setting is what companies like ourselves can actually enrich the entire environment.
Sadavid, how do you think we should address this? And what you're doing in your in when it comes to talent, AI talent in your company?
See, Shraddha, I have a healthy disrespect, for all these macro forecasts and macro things like, there is a gap, there is this and there is that. These are all things which are seen in hindsight, right? To me, there is no gap. I think the gap that exists is the ability, to imagine what is possible. So what we need are people who can imagine what is to be done, what is possible, and then we need some technologists who have an awareness and willingness to do it. So, we have to split the problem into two parts. One is the basic research that goes on. That basic research, very honestly, is not part of the corporate realm. So at least we are not in that basic research area. We depend on the universities. Most of it happens abroad. Some of it happens in China. And I'm sure, the Indian universities are catching up, and hopefully they will. So that part is in the academic domain. Our job is to look at what is possible and have people who can imagine this. And trust me, you do not require, hundreds of people and thousands of people. Famously, WhatsApp was built by less than 50 people, right? So if somebody can run a global service at that scale with 50 people, I don't think people is the real issue. So the issue is people who understand the business context, who can understand the technology, and then drive people. Young engineers can learn AI techniques and tools as much as they can learn Java or any other, language. And Indians, as you know, we are extremely flexible, right? When Y2K happened, we learned those issues. Then we learned SAP, and etc., etc. So I have no doubt that we have the talent, we have the capability. I think it's a question of direction, and it's a question of, I will say, a willingness to invest in the future.
Prateek?
I think that's a real problem, having scarcity of qualified professionals in AI. But that's a global issue, right? The demand for the professionals is so large that there is bound to be and remain for some time to come a supply-demand mismatch. So I think two or three things are required. The first one is to go out and invest in talent early, young. If you're expecting ready-made talent to come and walk in, that's going to be very difficult, and that's going to come at a cost. I think it's important to go out to colleges and to institutes and invest in young talent, get them on board early, number one. Number two, leadership should have clarity of what they need from AI. AI is this catch-all, it's this cool phrase, and people are not clear what business outcomes are seeking to impact using AI. So if the leadership is clear that this is what I'm seeking to do and achieve, the business outcome, not the technology outcome, that's a great starting point. And that drives convergence, of effort, that drives very, very sharp input and therefore sharp output. So I would say those are the two or three things. And patience. I think I heard somebody say patience earlier. Absolutely. I think it'll be an iterative effort. This is all a learning period for all of us, right? So we will stumble, we will go wrong. It's important to stay invested, be patient, and keep learning iteratively. I would say those are the three learnings in getting and building a good team. Yeah. And it doesn't need to be a very large team. The other point, Shraddha, very importantly, is that, look, at least our learning has been that if we try and do all of this in-house, that it will take time. So organizations have to do a good combination of build and buy. We have to work with partners. We have to invest in talent organically, of course, but also go out and work with partners who have these capabilities, who have done this for other organizations in other industries, maybe. So I think that will allow us to be that much faster and that much more effective.
Yeah. Nishan.
Yeah, great points. Really great points. I agree, very much with all of them. And I've, see this, also impacting us a lot. There is definitely, I would say a talent crunch, but that doesn't really is the biggest impediment, right? And like it's been addressed here that the biggest impediment is our imagination, is our vision, is our, ability to really define the business use cases that we want to achieve and really understanding the potential that the AI has, for us. And as India, really participating in this wave of AI, right? I think India can have a lot of positive impact on this. As company like in Mindtickle, some of the things that we are doing, definitely we have a team dedicated to to this technology who's focusing on ensuring that how we meet our business, our customers needs using AI, our business meet our business goals using AI. We are also partnering with some of the colleges out there, right? And like I think it is already addressed here that we need to invest in the in the talent early, right? Partnering with some of the colleges, the research labs, and giving them internship opportunities, inviting them to be a part of this. And it's not just confined to only the people who are in research, but AI is something where it's very inclusive, where you can have the people in the field, like in sales or in businesses, also participate in some or the other way. You don't know where the next big idea is going to come from, right? And then working very closely with everybody out there. The startups, I feel like us, have a good advantage, is because we can invent new business models out there, right? And make it more inclusive for not just the companies, but also the all the customers or service providers who are part of this business model, who can start to participate.
To all of you, on the same question I want to ask is that while you, and I'm sure because all of you are looking at your customers and all of you are, the focus and if decisions come from there. But if you have thrown with multiple choices, right? How do you prioritize in your companies as leaders, as you individually leaders, when you decide on what is it that you're going to focus on? If you could share with us, it will be very useful for a lot of entrepreneurs and young businesses out there listening today to you.
Shraddha, may I take a stab at it, please?
Yes, please.
So I think I'll divide the problem into two parts. One is, today tools, capacity, of deploying models very quickly on the fly. So we went with AWS very early because we are not going to reinvent the wheel. Okay, so our needs are going to be basically driven around our business issues. And I keep saying AI is one more lever we have in our strategy, whether it's a customer strategy, risk management strategy, etc. I think what we did was basically ran very small experiments very early on, and I would say 9 out of 10 left nothing. So maybe they were too early, but that one experiment which worked just brought a lot of confidence, and then you keep accreting on your resources, keep accreting on your knowledge. So this is almost like osmosis, but osmosis which is driven, not osmosis which is like left to nature or chance. And I think that was where we started. So it's something which we took as a challenge, and today we can say that almost every aspect of our business regards AI as a very strong input into their decision making and eventually the business model, is because we have done this over 4 or 5 years, small things. And then, even if it didn't succeed, we didn't go and invest at such a heavy back end, that we had to kind of, write it off. I see AI and understanding of data and what tools can do for you in a similar graph.
I think the question I would submit is possibly the wrong question to ask. That how can a business invest and find the funds to invest in AI? I don't think we don't invest behind AI. We invest behind solving business problems. How do we improve the customer experience? How do we improve efficiencies? How do we drive speed to market? How do we drive innovation? How do we drive more predictability of the business? How do we drive faster scalability? If those are the questions we ask, and the most important questions will be prioritized, and the answers to those questions will be invested behind. So if we frame the question as a business question, the resources would be made available.
Yeah.
But I think if we start chasing a technology outcome, then that debate gets a little bit more stark.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a very valid point. Yes. Sarabveer.
No, I think Shraddha, a lot of what has been said is obviously the key point. I mean, we don't invest behind AI or any other technology, frankly. We invest behind selling more insurance, which is profitable for our insurance partners as well as for our customers. So we start with that problem, and we are obviously then trying to figure out what are the best tools and techniques. I would just submit that sometimes there is they can be the temptation to focus too much on the AI or buzzwords and things like this. And I always say that first let's look at human intelligence is also a very important and probably underrated and underutilized capability. So first let's use HI, and then once HI kind of reaches a point, then we'll use AI. So I think the whole thing is obviously consumer driven. It's driven by what we are attempting to do. But I think if I were to get to the essence of your question, I mean because honestly there is a trade-off, because in the short run several problems can actually be solved easier by Excel than by getting into these complicated data kind of issues. Because like I said before, the challenge is that you could solve a problem at a reasonable level of optimization very quickly, but then you can't go any further because you have not done the work of creating the data sets, etc. So I think that's really perhaps the heart of what you were trying to get at. And finally, I think that depends on the orientation of the next half year or something, then I may or may not want to make that walk that road. But if I'm thinking of something 5 years, 10 years ahead, or I'm saying that today I'm X and I need to be 5 times my size, then obviously you think in a different way.
Thank you so much to each one of you. Things to take away for everyone watching today is, while AI is going to be defining the decades to come, and India is well poised. We have the talent, we have companies like the experts whom you listen to. They are innovating in their own domains. RBL Bank is doing something innovative, and Policy Bazaar with the insurance tech business. Prateek with Jubilant and Domino's, and Nishant with Mindtickle and the customer support and service tech business that they have. But at the heart of it is going to be human intelligence, agility, humility, collaboration, and partnership. So while we are chasing, this is it, and we'll create a world which we will, as Sarabveer, you said, we are going to imagine. So thank you for giving us imagination today, and I'm sure a lot of us will be inspired. A lot of people watching this would be inspired. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Eitan Medina and I am the Chief Business Officer of Habana Labs, an Intel company. In this session, I will talk about the upcoming AWS EC2 instances for deep learning training based on the Habana Gaudi AI processor. Habana was founded in 2016 to deliver AI processor to the data center and cloud for training and inferencing deep learning models. While building chips is hard, building software and the ecosystem is even harder. So joining forces with Intel is helping us connect the dots. Since the acquisition of Habana Labs by Intel last year, we were able to significantly boost our R&D resources, and we are leveraging the scale that Intel can provide in number of customers and ecosystem support by partners and CSPs. At Habana, we have two product lines, Gaudi for training and Goya for inferencing. Both are designed around a common architecture and software stack. In this talk, we will focus on our Gaudi, the training solution, and specifically on the upcoming Gaudi-powered EC2 instances. The Gaudi-based EC2 instances are the first non-GPU training instances in AWS. In his keynote, AWS CEO said that these instances will deliver 40% better price performance to the end customers relative to the current GPU-based EC2 instances for training deep learning models. So the value proposition is lowering the cost to train for the end customers. As an example, an 8 Gaudi system delivers throughput of 12,000 images per second training ResNet 50 in TensorFlow. The EC2 instances will feature up to 8 Gaudi accelerators and will be available to customers as standard EC2 instances via an easy-to-use and pay-as-you-go usage model. Developers will be able to spin up these instances via AWS ECS and EKS for containerized applications and also via Amazon SageMaker. The Gaudi instances will support a wide range of machine learning workload, starting with natural language processing, image classification, object detection, and recommendation systems. Scaling across multiple Gaudi-based instances will be provided using the AWS Elastic Fabric adapter technology. Gaudi is designed from the ground up for doing one task well, to train deep learning models. To do that, we focus the architecture on efficiency and scalability. The compute architecture is a combination of fully programmable tensor processor core cluster and a centralized GEM engine. These tensor processor cores are essentially VLIW SIMD machines designed with custom instruction set architecture and special functions that were specifically designed for AI. The Gaudi chip integrates 32 gigabytes of HBM2 memories, which make it easy to port models for GPU users. Finally, Gaudi is unique in integrating 10 ports of standard 100 gigabit Ethernet RoCE on chip, as opposed to proprietary scaling interfaces you see in other architectures. So overall, improving cost performance is achieved through efficiency, namely higher utilization of the compute and memory resources, and the native integration of RoCE for scaling. From day one, we focused on the software experience, as it is critical to make it easy for developers to use the innovation we have in the hardware. Most developers use TensorFlow and PyTorch for building deep learning models. So the Gaudi Synapse AI software suite comes integrated and optimized for TensorFlow and PyTorch. We expect most developers to be able to take existing models and with minor changes to the training scripts, run them on the Gaudi-based instances. Habana will provide detailed guides for developers to take advantage of. In addition, expert developers who are familiar with writing their own kernels will have access to the tools in order to create custom kernels and augment the Habana-provided kernel library. Open access to documentation, library, software, and reference model will be provided through Habana's GitHub with regular updates on the software roadmap and bidirectional communication with Habana developer community. These resources will be available concurrent with the AWS instances availability. To summarize, Gaudi brings new level of efficiency to AI training, and by lowering the cost to train, we hope to enable more customers and more applications to take advantage of the insights and end-user experiences that AI training can provide. Thank you.
So I'm Rajiv Rastogi, Vice President of Machine Learning at Amazon India. Today I'm going to talk about machine learning innovations that we've come up with at Amazon's India retail business. Now there are numerous applications of machine learning across Amazon's different e-commerce business verticals. We are using machine learning to recommend products to customers, forecast future demand for products, and improve the quality of our product catalog by classifying products and eliminating duplicate products. We're also applying ML techniques to rank products in search results, reduce packaging costs, improve address quality, and mine product design insights from reviews. So let me now dive deeper into some of the applications shown on this slide. Now, addresses in India are unstructured and they are often incomplete with critical fields like street name missing from the address. For example, we have seen addresses on Amazon.in such as near Orion Mall, Malleswaram, Bangalore, or near bus stand, Sambhaji Chowk, Nasik. Now, incomplete addresses hurt the productivity of our delivery associates. Our DAs are required to call the customer to locate the address. Similarly, spelling errors and missing spaces make it very difficult to tokenize and locate addresses. Now, to come up with, to identify these poor quality and incomplete addresses that are very difficult to locate and deliver to, we have come up with the notion of an address deliverability score. Now, ADS captures the degree of completeness of an address, with more complete and locatable addresses having higher ADS scores. So, in the first row of this table, the address Malleswaram West 560055 has a low ADS score of 5. However, once we add building name, street name, floor information, and landmark to the address, the ADS score increases to 89. Now, for an input address, we compute ADS based on the similarity between the address and similar addresses to which we have successfully delivered packages. For junk addresses with low ADS scores, we do soft intercepts at address creation time, and these have reduced instances of address not found by 50%. A number of our customers don't enter their address type, residential or commercial. Now, knowledge of address type can help to improve delivery success rates. For example, by not delivering to commercial addresses on Sundays, and also help to improve delivery speeds. For example, by delivering to residential addresses on Sundays. So we have trained an ML model to predict the address type. Our model is able to distinguish between these two very similar addresses shown here. It correctly labels Brigade Gateway Apartments as residential and World Trade Center as commercial. We have used our ResCom prediction model to backfill the address type for millions of addresses. And this has increased product page views with 1 day delivery speeds by 100 plus basis points. Now, moving on to operations. We have seen customers complaining about damaged products and excessive product packaging. This is not only wasteful and bad for the environment, but it also increases our packaging and concessions costs. Now, this slide here shows the different types of packaging arranged in increasing order of costs. The packaging types on the right, such as corrugated boxes, are more expensive, but they also lead to fewer damages and lower concessions. So there is a trade-off here between packaging costs and concessions. We use ML to select the optimal packaging type for each product that reduces or minimizes the cost of packaging and concessions paid for damaged shipments. Now, our ML based approach reduces concessions costs by selecting a robust packaging type, such as corrugated box, for products that are more susceptible to damage. Conversely, for products that are less prone to damage, it selects an inexpensive packaging type, such as polybag, thus reducing packaging material costs. Now, this model has been applied to hundreds of thousands of Amazon packages, reducing shipment damage by 24%, while actually cutting shipping costs by 5%. Quality is a key driver for fruit and vegetable purchasing decisions and a critical factor in achieving customer satisfaction. Having humans grade the quality of fruits and vegetables by manually examining each individual piece of produce, every tomato or every onion, is not really scalable to millions of quality assessments per day. So we are building a computer vision based grading solution for products such as tomatoes and onions. The ML based approach analyzes produce images to detect defects such as cuts, cracks, pressure damage, etc., and can carry out millions of assessments per day at a cost far below that of any other method. Now, we plan to develop a conveyor belt based automatic grading and packing machine, leveraging hardware and machine learning to pack produce into predetermined quality grades such as premium grade A and so on. And this grade and pack machine will reduce grading costs by 78% compared to manual grading. We also plan to use near infrared sensors to detect attributes such as ripeness and sweetness that cannot be detected in RGB images that are captured by your traditional computer vision algorithms and that require destructive methods such as eating the fruit or vegetable. And clearly, these don't scale. Now, the Amazon product catalog in India has over 200 million products. However, since sellers are responsible for populating product metadata on our marketplace, some of the product listings end up having defects. And these poor quality listings erode customer trust, they hurt conversions and sales, and they also lead to excessive returns. So we use ML techniques here to identify and fix catalog defects at scale. Now, this slide here shows defects involving mismatches between product attributes such as title and image. On the left, uh, you can see that the title says that the product is a t-shirt, but the product image shows a bag. Similarly, here on the right, the title says that the color of the product is blue, but the product image shows a pink dress. A customer ordering this product wouldn't know if they're going to get a blue or a pink dress, and so they may not place an order at all. In some cases, attribute values such as color may be missing for a product in the catalog, and this can hurt search refinement experience. So, for example, this orange dress here is gets dropped from search results when the user applies the orange yellow color filter because the attribute value orange for the dress is missing in the catalog. Now, a key capability to identify and correct these defects is the ability to extract structured attributes such as color, material, size from product titles, descriptions, and images. We use deep neural networks to extract attribute values. Our models for text rely on the context around each word to label it with the relevant attribute. So, for example, the word aqua in the first title here refers to a brand, while aqua, the same word in the second title here, is a color. Similarly, extracting color from product images can be tricky. In this image here, the color of the sandal is blue, even though it has some yellow and the sole is gray. Now, our attribute extraction models have backfilled missing attribute values for millions of products, and this has increased refinement coverage by 955 bips. Now, they have also fixed color and size mismatches for thousands of attributes and thousands of products. We have also developed ML models to detect 25 types of image defects, such as celebrity faces in images, non-white backgrounds, cropped faces, poor quality images, and so on. And our image defect detection models have corrected or suppressed thousands of products with defective images. And this has helped to reduce the image defect rate by 727 basis points. Now, moving on to product search, not many of you may know this, but more than 50% of product searches start on Amazon. And we're using ML algorithms for ranking search results and surfacing the most relevant results to customers. A product type defect occurs when the product type of the search query is different from that of a product in the search result. So, for example, here we have the query Apple iPhone, and this iPhone accessory shown here has a product type defect because its product type is different from the query, while these different iPhone models here don't have product type defects. So we've come up with a product type defect score that predicts the likelihood of a product type defect for a query product pair. We leverage the product type defect score in search ranking to demote products with product type defects in search results. And this has essentially helped to reduce search defect rates by 213 basis points. Indian customers, as you may know, have strong regional preferences. For example, a customer searching for sari in Gujarat may be interested in a bandhani, while a customer in Karnataka issuing the same query, sari, may be looking for a Mysore silk, which is popular in that region. Now, to surface regionally popular and relevant products in search results, we have added regional sales velocity, that is, the number of units of a product sold within a region, as a feature in search. And this has increased product revenues by 0.69%. Our sponsored products ads coverage is impacted due to lack of matching ads for search queries. And one way here to increase ads coverage is to find semantically related queries and then show matching ads for those queries. For example, here we reformulate the query geyser to water heater that is semantically related, and then we show water heater ads for the query geyser. Similarly, we reformulate chappals to slipper and purse for men to men's wallet. We use ML to find such semantically related query pairs based on clicks on a common set of products. And we use these query pairs to reformulate queries. Our query reformulation model has increased sponsored product ads revenues by 4.33%. Now, product designers for product private brands have a number of questions. They want to know what are the key aspects of a product that customers care about. How do users rate a product on an aspect? Now, in this slide, we show the key aspects for a product in the luggage category. So you can see that some of the key aspects here are things like handle, lock, wheel, material, weight, look, color, and so on. Now here is a customer review. Now customer reviews contain a wealth of information about products. They capture user feedback and sentiment about different product aspects. So these can provide insights into product aspects that customers care about. Now in this review, you can see that there are a number of mentions of aspects. So here there is a phrase sturdy handle, which talks about the handle aspect. There is a mention of color, quantity, price, looks, and so on. Now we circle snippets containing positive sentiment using green and negative sentiment using red. We can aggregate all the sentiment information across all the reviews to generate fine-grained ratings for product aspects. So here you can see that the lock aspect has negative sentiment and rating, while an aspect like wheel down here has a positive sentiment and rating. Now, manufacturers can use this to come up with new product designs that would delight customers. And this can also help customers make purchasing decisions. Now, manually sifting through thousands of reviews to gauge user sentiment for product aspects can be tedious and time consuming. So to come up with a new product design insights at scale for millions of products, we have built an automated tool to both discover product aspects as well as mine user sentiment for each aspect from reviews using natural language understanding and sentiment analysis techniques. Now, the tool has been used by over 350 selling partners to drive 5,000 plus product launches. For example, it enabled the launch of a storage container with a wide neck, multiple capacity containers, and stainless steel lids that ramped up to be one of the top 5 bestsellers in the category with a 4.4 rating. So, in conclusion, machine learning is impacting virtually every vertical of the India retail business, right from customer experience, seller experience, catalog quality, search and ads, to operations, address quality, reviews, and payments. Thank you.
Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you. I am Shraddha Sharma, founder and CEO of Your Story, and it gives me great pleasure to host the Amazon AI Awards 2021, presented by AWS in association with Your Story and Intel. The Amazon AI Awards is an annual event that celebrates the excellence of startups and their path-breaking innovations in artificial intelligence and machine learning across the sectors. This year's winning startups have been selected from ML Elevate cohort, which was hosted by Your Story and AWS in association with Intel and Nexus Venture Partners. The 10-week program saw AI and ML-powered startups push the envelope to build, grow, and scale their startups to new heights. Without further ado, now we will present the awards for 2 categories: AI for All and AI for Media, Entertainment and Gaming. I would like to invite Puneet Chandok, President, India and South Asia for Amazon Internet Services Private Limited, to announce the winners. Welcome, Puneet.
Thank you, Shraddha. I'm absolutely thrilled to be joining you today for the AI Awards 2021. So let's start with the AI Award under the AI for All category, which recognizes pioneering efforts of startups using AI and machine learning to change the way sectors such as education, agriculture, energy, and HR, amongst others, operate. I'm very excited to announce that the award goes to Nimblebox Inc. Congratulations, Team Nimblebox. And the next one is in the media, entertainment, and gaming category, a sector that's on its way to become even more exciting and even more competitive in the coming years. And the winner is Cypher Analytics Private Limited. Congratulations, Team Cypher.
Thank you, Puneet. I would now like to invite Akanksha Bilani, Regional Alliance Head, AWS, APAC, Japan, Intel, to present the Amazon AI Awards in Banking and Financial Services category. Welcome, Akanksha.
Thank you, Shraddha. The AI Award for the Banking and Financial Services will be presented to the startup whose innovations have helped make this crucial sector either more efficient, secure, ensured ease of compliance for its stakeholders, or improve the ease of access to financial services. The award goes to Kaleidofin. Congratulations, Team Kaleidofin.
Thank you, Akansha. I'd like to invite Gaurav Ranjan, Vice President, Prime Venture Partners, to present the AI Award for the Healthcare, Wellness and Life Sciences category. Over to you, Gaurav.
The AI Award under Healthcare, Wellness and Life Sciences category will be provided to the startup that has made crucial strides in promoting better healthcare through better medical devices, augmenting diagnostic practices, or helping patients better manage their chronic issues. And the winner for this category is Inventigen Technologies Private Limited. Congratulations, Team Inventigen.
Akash Singh, co-founder and CTO Observe.ai, to announce the winner of the AI Award for Retail and E-commerce. Over to you, Akash.
As India continues its development journey, the demand for retail products is on the rise, and e-commerce continues its upward trajectory. The AI Award for Retail and E-commerce recognizes the innovation of startups bringing greater efficiencies in this growing sector. And the winner is Yugalink. Congratulations, Yugalink.
Thank you, Akash. Next, I would like to invite Sajan Mangalatu, Chief Information Officer, Aero FinCorp, present the AI Award for Manufacturing, Logistics and Transportation. Welcome, Sajan.
Despite the strides made by technology startups to unify the logistics marketplace in India, much is yet to be done. The AI Award for Manufacturing, Logistics and Transportation celebrates the innovations of startups that have helped to resolve key challenges in these critical sectors. And the winner is Intentico Inc. Congratulations, Intentico.
Thank you, Sajin. Before we conclude the proceedings for the day, I would like to cite two special mentions. They are Envoyed for the AI for all category and AI Bharata for the Healthcare, Wellness and Life Sciences category. With a little more effort and direction, these startups have the potential to create significant impact with their AI and ML offerings. And with that, we come to the end of the AI Awards for Startups. Congratulations once again to all the winners. We will now present the winners of Enterprise Awards of the AI Conclave. I would like to invite Puneet Chandok, President, India and South Asia at Amazon Internet Services Private Limited, to announce the winners.
The Enterprise Awards celebrate the excellence of enterprise and the extraordinary innovations across by presenting the winner of the first Enterprise Award category, the consumer retail segment. And I'm very excited to announce that the winner is the Titan Company. Titan's homegrown solution democratized the use of AI and ML and reduced the overall deployment time of machine learning models by over 50%. Congratulations, Team Titan. Well done. Moving on to the next Enterprise Award under the MBFC category. And the award goes to Edelweiss Financial Services. Congratulations, Team Edelweiss. The group's insurance arm leveraged AI and ML to increase its cross-sell rates by over 200% year on year. Really well done, team. Our next Enterprise Award will be presented under the banking category, and the winner is RBL Bank. Congratulations, Team RBL. RBL is an early adopter of AI and ML in the Indian banking industry. They've significantly improved their operations across risk, HR, and contact center intelligence. Well done, Team RBL. Our next category is professional services, and the winner of the Enterprise Award in this category is Genpact. Genpact's pharmacovigilance AI solution enabled authorities across the globe to monitor reactions to the administered doses of the COVID vaccine and take necessary corrective actions. Congratulations, Team Genpact. Really glad to see you as the winners in this category. The next Enterprise Award category is Retail, and the winner is More Retail. Congratulations. More Retail used AI and ML to forecast the demand for perishable goods during the pandemic, which led to a 20% reduction in waste while ensuring adequate supply to their customers in stores across the country at this crucial time. Well done, More Retail team. Up next, we have the Enterprise Award for the Travel and Hospitality segment. And the winner is Mahindra Holidays. Mahindra Holidays improved their customer booking experience with the help from a recommendation engine powered by machine learning. That also enabled them to reduce refusals by 20%. Congratulations, Mahindra Holidays. Our next Enterprise Award winner is in the Consumer Packaged Goods category. And the award goes to Godrej Consumer Products. Congratulations, Team Godrej. The team at Godrej Consumer Products automated their manual business processes to reduce their overall effort by 50%. And this helped them deliver real-time insights to their business teams. Well done, Team Godrej. Our next category is Healthcare. And the winner for the Enterprise Award in this category is GE Healthcare. Congratulations, Team GE Healthcare. They've leveraged AWS AI and ML across the spectrum of care, from enabling accurate predictions of medical equipment failure at hospitals and clinics to improve critical care patient safety by a factor of 34% over manual monitoring. Incredible impact. Congratulations once again, Team GE Healthcare. The next award will be presented under the manufacturing category, and the winner is L&T. Congratulations, Team L&T. L&T used AI and ML to improve the mobilization of their on-site workforce by 3 times, enabling blue-collar workers to come back to work during the pandemic. Well done, Team L&T. The final Enterprise Award will be presented under the Media and Entertainment category, and the winner is MX Player. Congratulations, Team MX Player. MX Player used AI and ML to boost the rigor of their content moderation process to ensure compliance with government rules and regulations, while engaging their users creatively and innovatively on their platform. Congratulations and well done, Team MX.
And with that, we come to the end of the Enterprise Innovation Award ceremony. Congratulations once again to all the winners.
What enables process compliance using AI-powered video analytics? Process compliance is crucial for doing business around the world. And as nations routinely update their compliance legislations, demand for the most effective operational tool is urgent. Monitoring process compliance today across several sectors happens either through physical manual inspections or through manual remote inspections. Both of these methodologies have its own gaps stemming from it being costly as you scale up linearly, it being post-mortem analysis, and the human bias and fatigue that comes along with manual monitoring. This is where Wobot's video analytics platform comes into play, which is built on 3 fundamental blocks: person detection, object recognition, and activity recognition. These blocks plug into existing cameras, detect, capture, and deliver events across standard operating procedures. This is enabled because Wobot has pre-trained several checklists that can help the food, retail, and industrial sector become more process compliant. Here is a quick look at how Wobot can help organizations in the food service sector, like restaurants and kitchens, become more productive and compliant. Organizations in warehousing and manufacturing, as well as organizations in retail, adhere to their standard operating procedures. The interface allows for events to be delivered across the organizations and rectified on a real-time basis. It also goes a step further and allows for engagement to happen between the concerned stakeholders whenever an event is detected, as well as provide specific insights that can help them make future decisions. Wobot works with clients across different sectors and brands which are well known within their sector. Wobot has helped these organizations benefit qualitatively as well as quantitatively. Qualitatively, it allows for a real-time rectification of anomalies that are raised or get a view of what is happening on the ground on a real-time basis, as well as provides specific insights around compliance within the organization. From a quantitative perspective, it helps reduce the cost of monitoring, reduce the risk of non-compliance, and increase the net promoter score as well as productivity. Wobot is powered by industry leaders with top VCs as well as ecosystem partners that enable it to deliver the value propositions to several customers.
It's been over a decade since AWS and Intel began our journey together. We combine the depth and breadth of AWS cloud services with the power and dependability of Intel custom processors, so our customers could unleash the power of technology to build tools for the fast-growing future. Working together, we were able to make technology more accessible by optimizing our global infrastructure. We've transformed the power of data and analytics through an engineering collaboration that pushes the boundaries of innovation. But it wasn't those innovations that changed the world. It's how AWS customers have brought them to life. It's how Avis developed its connected car mobility platform and completed it 10 times faster than expected. It's how Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center processed data from 15,000 biological samples. What previously took 7 years of compute time now takes just 7 days. It's how Europe's Delivery Hero shortened their monthly billing runs, a 20-hour task, down to 90 minutes. Today, AWS and Intel stand in awe of the ingenuity and determination of our customers. And whether it's tomorrow or 10 years down the road, we're excited more than ever for what
you